According to The Atlantic article by Julie Beck, when nostalgia used to be considered a disease.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember the good old days. He's sick! Put him down! Get him! It's contagious! I too remember the good old days!
Oh, God, he's causing us to remember.
I mean, pretty much. Like, so the article goes, people who like to bring up old Nickelodeon cartoons at parties, you know who you are, should be grateful it's not a few hundred years ago. We'd have license to leech them, bully them, and maybe even bury them alive.
Leech them?
Leech them. Wade, your impression was not too far off.
God.
These were some of the treatments proposed for nostalgia during the 17th to 19th century, when it was considered a psychopathological disorder, rather than a blanket term for fondness for anything that existed more than 30 minutes ago. Swiss physician Johannes Hofer.
With physician?
Oh, come on. We gotta let it go sometimes. It's not his fault,
Come on,
man.
it's not my fault, man. Swiss physician.
It's not his fault.
Swiss physician
Oh, there you go.
Johannes Hofer
Oh, okay, there we go.
coined the term in his 1688
God, that just took me back to your Forbidden thing. What the hell was that?
Rocking Forbidden.
Oh my God,
man,
dude,
that was
nostalgia. You're old good.
What is
Put
that?
me down! Put me down! I remember! I'm sorry, everyone. I must go. Leech me! Leech me!
Oh man. So Johannes Hofer coined the term in his 1688 medical dissertation from the Greek nostos, or homecoming, and algos, for pain. The disease was similar to paranoia, except the sufferer was manic with longing. Not perceived persecution.
Someone just like gets dumped. They're like, "Oh, I miss my wife. Things were so much." You miss her? That was the past. You feel nostalgia?
Why are you missing her? She's dead, idiot. She's gone.
Stone him to death.
God.
Anyway, manic with longing, not perceived persecution, and similar to melancholy, except specific to an object or place. Though Hofer is credited with naming nostalgia, it existed prior to that. During the 30 Years' War, at least 6 soldiers were discharged from the Spanish Army of Flanders with El Mal de Corazon. The disease came to be associated with soldiers, particularly Swiss soldiers, who were reportedly so susceptible to nostalgia that when they heard a particular Swiss milking song, Kurien, I don't know what song that is.
Sure.
Will, please play KHUE-REYEN or a little snippet of it so people can understand.
Ah, Bailey, hear that song? Remember when we weren't at war and we were at home? Good times, good times. Get them out of my platoon! You hear them reminiscing on the good old days before we were fighting in this war? Get them out of here!
Have an American drill sergeant in the Swiss army, the Spanish army of Flanders.
Get them out of here! There you go. Is that better?
You know you're Swiss, man. I gotta give you some bonus points for that.
There might be some holes in my argument, like there isn't my cheese. My let cheese. It's a Swiss thing. I'm sorry, all of Swiss land.
Oh no, it gets worse. Oh, I didn't read this part. Also disposed to nostalgia were children sent to the countryside to nurse.
Oh, how dare they?
I don't know what that means.
I remember mother's breast. Mother's breast. Put him down.
God.
Young men between 20 and 30 and women who left home to be domestic servants.
How dare they long for the good old days? Stake them through the heart while they sleep, otherwise they might come back and give us nostalgia.
Good God, autumn was a particularly dangerous season, the falling leaves perhaps reminding marching soldiers of their impermanence and making them wondering why they were spending their limited time on this earth bloodying their swords in distant lands instead of enjoying the comforts of home and hearth.
Hey, Jim, you have to let her go. You can't keep her locked in the basement. We have to put her down. No, I just can't. I know she's remembering the good old days, but I just can't let her go. Maybe she'll come back. Maybe she'll like the present time. No, Jim, you've got to. You got to let her out. We got to put her down. Tim, I don't know if I can do it.
Tim and Jim. Did they hang out with LeBim?
God, do you guys remember F7U12? Oh, they used lay all the time. Oh, le doge. Oh. All right.
I like to imagine them trying to deal with where the cutoff is for that. With Jim and Latim are hanging out, and one of them was like, do you remember when to that restaurant? I can't remember the name of it. Do you remember? And the other guy's like, no. It escapes me.
They had really good food. Remember how good their food was? The place there is just not as good now.
That was a week and a half ago. What are you talking about?
The guy's holding a shotgun. He's got a tear going down his face. I'm sorry that you remember, but I can't.
Do you remember?
I want to see the rabbits. Yeah, think of the rabbits. Click, click, think of the rabbits. Think of the rabbits.